Hello Stitchy friends! So I'm back again, close to, is it 4 months? October, November, December, January. Yeah, so over 4 months since I did my last video. I did my last video on October, sorry, excuse my phone if you can hear that, on October the 5th, 2023. And here we are on January the 18th, 2024, and I'm doing video number 2. Very well, coming back into Flosstube. But yeah, so don't worry, I have got lots to show you because I've been doing a lot of stitching in that time. But yeah, I missed my video back in, sorry, I'm just going to turn my phone onto silent so that doesn't bother you anymore. So yeah, I didn't do a video at the start of November because life was busy, and then it got to December and life got busier, and now in January it's still busy. So this is my hope of getting a video up in January to start with a nice clean slate, and then hopefully this year we can get into a bit of routine of how often I do videos, hopefully monthly, but possibly fortnightly, to keep them a bit shorter and sweeter. So what's been going on with me since the last video in the stitching world? I've had a finish, I've had a start and a finish, I've had 2 other new starts, I've worked on 2 whips which I showed from last time, and I've worked on 2 whips that are new to you guys. So yeah, it's been a lot of stitching, a bit all over the place, but yeah, it's been nice to have that bug back and the urge to stitch. As I know some people like to only watch what's been going on Stitchy Life, I will share what's been going on over the last couple of months in my normal life right to the end, so that if you are not interested you don't have to sit through that element. So I will start with my finish, and you can probably guess what it is from my last video, but I continued with all the momentum on amongst the foxgloves and I got him finished. This is my fastest ever start to finish stitching. I tracked the number of days this took, and across 6 weeks I stitched on him for 30 days and he was done. Just, that is unheard of with me. So please don't expect to see 2 finishes every time I do a video. Please don't expect to see a finish every time I do a video, because you'll be sorely disappointed, as you'll see when we discuss one of my other whips. But yeah, so he was finished, and he doesn't need words, does he? He's just beautiful. This isn't the best light and I do apologise. It's late in the afternoon on in the middle of January in the UK. The colours are not great, but if I hold that up maybe, oh, that's a bit better. But yeah, I love him. He is going to be framed. I told you last time that he was going to be one of 4 Rendales that I was going to put up in my kitchen, and I want to wait until I've got some more of them done, so that I can buy all new frames and I don't have the other frames just sitting for a long time. I'd rather get them all up and on the wall at the same time. So yeah, here's my first finish. He was my finish from 2023. What else was I going to say? Oh yes, so I did this with the kit, all the kit supplies. I do with these by the Even Weave kits. So the Bothy Threads Rendale kits come with either 14 count Ada or 28 count Even Weave in the speckled fabric design. and I just love the even weave. I love how this looks on the even weave. So yeah, oh, he's beautiful. And he has been sitting, I haven't had him just tucked away. I love him so much. He's been sitting on my bookcase, where I've just tucked him onto a shelf, so that I can see him every day, and I just adore him. He was well worth the time and effort to stitch. So next up, after I finished him, I stayed with the Rendale Kick, because I was enjoying stitching them so much. And I started a project which I got on my birthday, which was the day after my last video, which is Sunshine. It's another Rendale even weave kit, and I fell in love with this because of the sunflowers, and this is how far I am. Let me put something behind that. This is how far I am at the moment. Oh, sorry for that crazy glare. There you go, that's good. We're going to have to work with that, I'm afraid. So yeah, this is where I'm up to at the moment. This is 7.5 colours complete. Oh, if I do it, there you go, that's not too bad. If I do, I'm 7.5 colours complete, although one of those colours is just the 6 stitches that make up his eye, and that is it. So really it's 6 full, like, big chunks of colour complete, and this is as much fun as Amongst the Foxgloves was. It's quick, it's easy to read, it's a paper pattern, it's colourful in all these dark nights through January. Stitching the yellows and the greens, it just brings me so much joy. So yeah, that one is well on its way to be finished. I think I've got about 11-12 colours left to go, and some of those are quite small, similar to the eyes, where they're just a little bit of grey in the beak. That's it for the whole stitch. I also stitched some more on my Lizzie Kate ABCs of Parenting. This is a grab and go, do a little bit here or there, but this is where I am now. Now I can't remember where I got up to on this last time. I know that I've done mould character. I think I finished off a laugh, and then I've done this whole set of the line since I last showed you. This isn't a go-to every night stitch or an everyday. I've taken it out a few times just to stitch while out and about, and I do a couple of letters and then it goes away, but it's great for that sort of travel time stitching. So next was on the list is my other new start, another new start that I had in November, and that was also a finish. So yeah, there you go. So a start and a finish in about 2 months. Incredible. Don't expect it to continue because I don't know who this stitcher is. I don't. A start and a finish in 6 weeks for Fox was unusual. A start and a finish for us in about 8 weeks for this one. No, that's not who I am. Do not expect this to continue. So what is this chart? Let me stop blithering on about shock and start telling you the details. So this is by designer Doreen Jones. She's a popular designer in some of the cross stitch magazines, so she does a lot of work for World of Cross Stitch, and she every week on her Facebook page she releases a Friday freebie, and she does this every Friday, which is an incredible amount of charts that are available for free of just going to her Facebook page. And she did this Christmas, she did a stitch along across 8 weeks, which was, the first week was the borders, and then each week after that we saw a little motif design, and oh, it was a joy every Friday going in to find out what the next piece was. I've loved stitching this. I've stitched it, it's a mix of, for mine, a mix of DMC and CXC threads. I did make some adjustments on this, so I changed the colour of the bird to make him more of a robin. I used Smyrna crosses in the ornaments of the Christmas tree. I added metallic threads into the baubles, you can't really see, and I adjusted the beard of Santa a little bit, but it was just a joy to stitch so much. So nice to work on this, loved the colour, really enjoyed it, and that's something I've noticed with this reinvigoration of my stitchy bug. These smaller medium, oh, found a needle, these smaller medium-sized projects where you've got a limited colour palette, and it's all a bit manageable in size, are just drawing my attention at the moment. And I think that's because with everything else going on, with work and home life and all of those things, these just, you can do a small amount, a half hour or an hour in a day, and feel like you've made really good progress on that project. So I think certainly for a while these sort of sizes are what you can expect from me. Having said that, I'm going to show you some of my bigger whips momentarily, have started to make an appearance again. But yeah, I think this is at the moment more my jam. But oh, finishing of that. So I finished this was my first finish of 2024. We're in January and I have a finish in January. Sorry, I know I'm repeating myself. I'm very excited about this finishing thing, but I am going to fully finish that before the end of the year, and I've got the fabric. I'm going to turn it into a cushion. So I have got some lovely, it's very hard to show you, let's see whether it comes up. So yeah, so very subtly patterned, oh, that's a good shot, very subtly patterned white fabric, and that's going to go as an outside border to reach size of a cushion, because I'm going to do quite a big cushion that can go on my couch or go onto a chair, rather than like a small decorative cushion. I want this to be a usable size cushion. And then for the background, there you go, that's better on colour. I have this, which is all baubles and the pale blue. And if I show you those together with stitching, you'll be able to see where I got those colours from, just with that background. And I just think that's going to look so nice in amongst all my other Christmas decorations come December. So I got a sewing machine for my birthday, which I did know I was getting, and I've used it a little bit, but I think this is going to be perfect for a cushion test, and some simple straight line stitching on the sewing machine. But yeah, I can't wait to be able to show you that down the line this year. So that is my second finish. So I had another new start back in December. I was really feeling the festive, oh, excuse me, I'm a bit uncomfortable sitting on the floor. I was really in the festive mood for coming into Christmas, so I decided on another new start. So this is the Knitting Santa. So this is a 2007 Prairie Schooler Santa. I should have brought the chart downstairs, but I didn't, so apologies. And yes, he is just so cute. And my mum just has Father Christmases or Santas on her Christmas tree. It is something to behold. You wouldn't believe how many ornaments she's been able to collect over the years, and the more unique they are, the more they make their way onto the tree. And my mum is also a very avid knitter. She's made my daughter some beautiful cardigans and jumpers. So when I saw this several years ago, actually, I was like, my mum needs that. But I just never got round to purchasing the chart. And this year I did, so I got him started. And I will finish him before this December, so he can take pride of place on our Christmas tree. He's about halfway done. He is on, oh, I wish I should have brought the information down on this is a 20 count Ada. This may be vintage country mocha. I can't remember. I should have brought the details down. I need to start writing this down now that I'm doing Flosstube again, because I can't remember. But yeah, he's a 20 count Ada, and he's stitched 1/1. Loving the coverage, love that vintagey look that's coming out, that a lot of those prairie schoolers have. And yeah, I can't wait to get this finished. I'm going to turn him into an ornament, as I say, for my mum to go on her Christmas tree. He's actually as tall as he will get. So although it looked quite big there, by time, because he is pretty much his width. So yeah, he's going to be this big on the photo, which would be perfect for a Christmas ornament, I think. So yeah, I'm gonna get him finished. But yeah, he's just all the calls for DMC. Fill in this in red, make his bag, and then he's got a stocking and some mittens, I believe, still to go. So yeah, that's my other new start. So that's it for my new starts. 3 new starts since my last video, and then just two older whips and another whip to go through. So I have been working on my Snow Queen. This is very slow progress. This fabric is really difficult. It's beautiful. You can just make out the sparkle, I think. But yeah, it's sparkly dark blue, and it's a very tight weave, even weave. So I've filled in some of the areas of the skirt here. I think that was all I did. I think I'd already done some of the beading last time, but I can't remember. I've basically worked along here. So yeah, I have worked on that. Now this one is part of my bigger plans for 2024. I'm limiting my plans for 2024 because I don't want to get bogged down in plans and not achieving them and feeling bad that I haven't achieved goals I've set myself for a hobby. So I'm not really planning too much, but this is one that I'm trying the method that Jessie Marie does, where she splits a chart into 12 sections and works on one section a month to get a finish. Which seems like a daunting task, but I think I could do it, because this chart is 240 stitches high, and I've got quite a bit done here of the deer, so a lot of it is mostly her dress, and by the time you get up to the higher sections, you've only got her really in it, so they're quite small in number of stitches. So I think overall I could probably stay on top. So this is the top of section 1, where I've stopped here, where I'm filling in this gap. So this first section is quite small for January, and January is really busy for me, so I don't think I'll achieve all of that in January, but I won't have a lot to catch up in February, and I think I can stay on top of it in February. So yeah, this is going to be, I hope, as I say, I'm not sticking like rigidly to plans, but if I can stick close to getting these sections done, then I could get this finished potentially in 2024, which would be incredible, an astounding achievement for me. So yeah, wish me luck on those plans. Next, so a surprise thing that I pulled out for a few days last year was this project. So my next two projects that I'm going to show are Heaven and Earth designs, which when I first started back at stitching last year, I was like, I'm not going to pull those out. I haven't got time to do those. But I kind of, as my stitchy bug has increased over the last couple of months, I've thought maybe I can get a little bit of progress on those. Maybe it'll be worth it. So the first one I did some work on is a story keep. Oh, there you go. A story keep, which is called Effects of Caffeine. And the book title has always amused me, which is why I bought this, which is called Interesting Effects of Caffeine on the Mind by I Am Dragon. I Am Dragon. So yeah, this just amuses me. But yeah, I adore this little dragon. I enjoy all of the Randall Spangler dragons. This is a Randall Spangler Designs. This is a story keep based on one of his bookshelf designs, and that's obviously just one of the books. Now when I picked this up, this was already over 50%, so don't be like wowed by how much is done. And I have been stitching this for 2004, 15, 16. So yeah, this is coming up on 8 years, maybe 7, 8 years. But here we go. This is the progress I have on it. So all of this stuff here was all completed before I picked it up again last year. And then I finished this gem. All the red was done. I'd got a 0 on all the red, including down to these couple of stitches down here. But yeah, so all that was done. And then last year for a little while before I did my video back in November, back in like the January, February, I'd done some work on his little sleep cap. But the work I did since November, let me scroll that up, was I need something behind. Okay, there we go, that's looking better. So the green that's in his face and the blue that will be the cup, that was all done for over a couple of days in October. A few of the purples and yellows. So yeah, I got close to 1,000 stitches done in a couple of days. It's end of October, early November, and that was purely because my stitching that I had been working on was upstairs and I was too lazy to grab it, so this was something small that I had close to hand. So he is currently at 60.55%. Yeah, I think I'm just going to keep it as it have it of he'll be close to hand, and if I get a few stitches in, great, and we'll see where we go. But yeah, I've got less than 10,000 stitches to go on him, which for Heaven and Earth is incredible. So yeah, I really enjoyed pulling that out. Enjoying stitching that led me to pull out my last whip I'm going to show you. And those of you that used to be followers of mine and do follow my Instagram will recognise this piece. But so many books, so little time, regular size, regular colour is back out, and I've done some stitching on this year. I have done about 2,000 stitches so far. They were all in this area. Sorry, let me see. You can tell I haven't done a project this big on Flosstube for a while. So yeah, so I've been working on this area where you can see the parked threads. I've filled in some of these blues. And yeah. So the reason I will pause, take a breath. So let me show you first what this will look like. Most of you will have probably seen it, but this is the full design. Oh, that's a lot of glare. So this is So Many Books, So Little Time by Randall. Oh, that'll do. By Randall Spangler. I am not even 30% complete. I'm at 28.8 something. So close to 30%, but not 30%. And this is the embarrassing part. This beautiful chart turns 10 in May. So I think it's the 14th of May, 13th of May. This chart turns 10. I can't believe I've been stitching on this for 10 years. So yeah, it needs some love. But yeah, it's a big chart. If you're wondering, what I've done is not even 30%, and it goes on. That little piece of floss right in the middle of there, that is the centre point, and it carries on and on and on until, and I think that it's going to end with about 3 inches to go, so it's going to end there. So yeah, there is a long way to go on this. Yeah, there's no excuse other than it's been neglected. I'm sorry it's been neglected. I do love it though. Every time I look at this, I fall in love with it again. So that's an advantage. It's 10 years old and I love it as much now as I did the day I started it. I've just neglected on the stitching of it. So what is my plans for that? And I'm really sorry, the light has just completely gone in the last 5 minutes. So you're going to have to deal with the weird light situation that I've got at the moment. So my plan for So Many Books is I would like it finished by its 15th birthday, which gives me 5 and a bit years. And I want it stitched by its 20th birthday, which gives me 10 and a bit years to finish it. Now, that sounds totally doable, but given that I've only got less than 30% done in 10 years already, even in 10 years, that would only take me to 60%. So I need to make it a focus and make it a priority. So I've got a few plans, but I don't want to stick rigidly to any, I must stitch 100 stitches a day or anything like that. I'm a bit of a rebel when it comes to rules that I enforce for myself. If you set me a rule, I will do it. I will bend over backwards to achieve your rule. If I set the rule, then I'm a rebel. So I'm not going to set myself a rule and a set number of stitches, but I'm going to try and make it a focus, certainly in the evenings, to try and get a little bit more progress done on that. So yeah, if I could get 50% done in the next year to 18 months, I would be loving life. But that's too strict a requirement, so I'm not going to go down that route. So yeah, that is all of my stitching. So we're half an hour in, and you know, I think I've done well. I'm still very rusty at this Flosstube thing again. I think maybe I need to get myself a notebook and write some things down. But yeah, we can only win. So yeah, let's hope I will be here back with more stitching in a few weeks. So yeah, if you are just interested in the stitching stitcher, then please switch off. It was lovely of you to stay this long, and thank you. If you want a bit of a life update, then stick around. So yeah, happy days. So life, what happened? What happened to keep me out of my stitching for 4 months? Well, keep me away from Flosstube for 4 months. So yeah. So firstly, I was an idiot, so that was one. So when I finished the Fox, it was like the 20th of October, 24th, like, and last week of October. And I thought to myself, oh, I've got to finish, I could do a Flosstube. And then I said, but you've only done one project, so that would be boring. You don't want to do a video for that. So I didn't. I thought I'll leave it another week and I'll have a week with like a new start of sunshine, and I could do some stitching on something else, and I could show 3 projects. Great. Never do that. If you've got time, do a video. That's what I've learned from this. So the week went by, and work was busy, and home life was busy, so I didn't do the Flosstube at the start of November. Then it got to the middle of November and I was tired. I got a cold and those sort of things, so I couldn't do a video because I had no voice, and you know, life was busy. Then we hit Christmas, and literally every weekend, every single day of the week, there was something on. The Christmas tree was going up. So that was another. I just couldn't find the time to do it. Or if I could have done a video, then it was a case of I can do a video or I can do stitching, and the stitching one, because what's the point in doing Flosstube if it gets in the way of progress? Well, that's my reasoning anyway. So again, I couldn't do a video, and that's just where the life has continued. So yeah, it was just one of those things. I should have done that one in October, and that might have then pushed me, because then I would have been doing shorter videos, because the problem is the longer it takes you to do the video, the longer it takes in between videos, the longer that each video takes, and the more effort it takes. So yeah, it just spiraled. And then January's hit, and I've managed to squeeze this one in, but we've dealt with the fact that the light hasn't been great. But part of the reason is for those in the UK, you'll know what this is. For elsewhere, a little Google. But I'm in a pantomime. As well as getting my stitchy bug back, post having a baby, I also rejoined my amateur dramatics group, and I am joining their pantomime, which we are performing in 2 weeks. So that has taken up a lot of time in the evenings and at weekends for rehearsals, but it's fun. It's lots of fun. So for anyone who doesn't know what panto is or a pantomime is, it's a lot of slapstick, good old traditional comedy. So it's got a lot of puns, and it's got a lot of slapstick type jokes in there. We also use it's traditionally a role of mixed sexes. So we have a pantomime dame who is traditionally played by a man. We have our principal boy, who is traditionally a girl. So yeah, it's lots and lots of good fun, but a lot of hard work at the same time. So again, that's limited my stitchy time, and limited some other family time I've had, but it's going to be all worth it next week, when we get to perform the show and my daughter gets to see mummy on the stage, which I think will be a really magical experience for both of us. So yeah, that's why I've not been around as much, but hopefully Panto finishes on the 29th of January. So once that's done, my weekends are back to being mine, and my evenings are a bit more flexible and I'm a bit less tired. So I'm hoping that will mean more chance for stitching, and also more chance to come on here and share everything with you. So yeah, that's it. A 35-minute video. I'm happy with that. Not too long. I hope you all have a good day, a good evening, or whatever you're looking for, or, you know, a good week, a good month, until I see you all again. So thanks so much for tuning in, guys, and I'll see you soon, hopefully. Bye.